So for the artwork, it's a combination of both traditional and digital. I start everything with sketches. I then transfer onto a big board and I do inks by hand with a brush. I then scan those pages and do all the final effects and all the colors digitally. So it's a great way to balance both of these processes, which I'm very much close to, and to create something that I think is really cool and really unique, combining both forms of digital and physical art. So I'm very much a fan of horror, fantasy comics. So I'm gonna have to say that Dark Arc is right up there. So if you want a really fantastic horror comic, you gotta go for Dark Arc. And in fact, anything that Cullen Bunn writes, I think he's one of the best horror writers in comics. He's an incredible storyteller, and he's absolutely one of my favorites. So I would absolutely recommend anything he does. But other things that and I know there's so much amazing stuff out there, but classics for me are like Hellboy, um, Saga is a fantastic, still is, amazing story. Anything with Constantine, Hellblazer, Outcast is also one of my favorite horror comics that I read in the last few years. Robert Kirkman, Paul Azaceta. And there's so many, that's why I love comic books because it allows you to have such a rich variety of different kinds of even subgenres within genres. So within the fantasy, horror, sci-fi landscape, there's an incredible mix of fantastic stories and combinations. So yeah, I would read anything that we're doing in comics in that genre. Yeah, so the creatures in Dark Ark are really some of my favorite creatures throughout the history of mythology, and that's why I think it's such a great combination of taking these pre-existing myths and being able to reinterpret them in my art style to create something that is obviously familiar, but I'm able to create my own unique interpretation of it. So whether it's Nex, the vampire villain in Dark Ark, I kind of gave him the classic black cape with the red interior, but I thought it functioned great within that landscape because it's so iconic. You're able to easily recognize, yeah, this is like where vampires and Dracula comes from. But then dealing with some of the other great mythological creatures from different eras and different cultures, it was great to sort of research and mess with the designs and then be able to interpret it the way that I do and have them become a unique cast of characters that play very well off each other in Dark Ark. So with my coloring, um, whether it's Dark Ark or just about any project that I work on, I tend to color on emotion and color in mood. And a lot of that comes out of the script and what I believe the characters are feeling or what they're going through. So I don't really plan my colors. Like I don't know what I'm gonna necessarily colors of character or a page because I see color as one humongous broad stroke that allows you to interpret feelings in a different way that connects with the actual artwork. So as opposed to just coloring something because that's what the color is, that's what the color of a chair is or a TV. I tend to look at the full page as a part of a color spectrum that is allowing me to tell the story through emotions and through highlighting the moods that I believe some of the characters are feeling or they're going through. And I tend to have a lot of fun doing that because I don't know exactly how it's going to turn out. But I do know that the colors speak to me, and I think it speaks to anyone who's reading the story. It definitely is a part of the whole process. So with Shrey, I would have to say that that's easily one of the best characters I've ever had a chance to work on. when I first read the script and I read the description of Shrey and the way that he interacts with his family, I just knew right away what he was going to look like. I don't know why, particularly the graphic design style that I used represented Shrey, but I felt that it captured sort of the enormity of both his actions, what he was doing, his responsibility, and I tried to show that through his physicality, because he's a very big and hefty man, and I felt that emotionally he probably had to deal with a lot because he is working for the devil, but in trying to protect his family, which is a very interesting dichotomy there. So he's just one of those characters that I knew he would be the driving force of the story. So it was very easy for me to come up with his look and his design. And it's definitely a great counterpoint and a counterbalance to Noah, who we also see in the book, but I think Shrey brought a very unique sense of himself as this sorcerer doing this deed that could be considered horrible and terrible, but all in the duty of protecting his family, which is something that I think a lot of readers could relate to under those circumstances. Yes, so I was very fortunate to have visited Italy on my first trip to Europe when I was much younger. I was a big student of the Renaissance and of all the artists that participated and created these wonderful works of art. So when I went to Europe, Italy and Rome was one of the top things that I had to do, simply to go visit the Sistine Chapel, which I did. And that was a transformative moment for me as an artist. It really genuinely changed my passion and my pursuit, my commitment to this craft of being an artist and to trying to do the best that I can. So being able to have that experience and see the Sistine Chapel with my own eyes in Italy was definitely something that I will cherish and remember forever. Not to mention that Rome is an incredibly beautiful city. The people are amazing, and the food is spectacular. Thank you very much, Italy. I love you very much. Greetings, Italy. My name is Juan Doe, and I am the artist for Dark Arc with the great Cullen Bunn for Aftershock Comics. I wanted to thank all the readers from Italy and Edizione BD for having me on this interview. I hope everyone who reads Dark Arc enjoys it as much as we had creating it, and I hope to visit Italy again one day and be able to share this experience with you guys all. So thank you very much. Arrivederci.